We just finished the renovations on this flip project, and if we sold it today, we will lose $100,000. What's going on, everyone? My name is Andrew, and today I'm here with Ping, and we want to show you this latest flip project, which we finished at the peak of our recession here in Canada. But we're real estate investors. We're not in the business of losing money. The true grit of a real estate investor is shown by how they're able to wait. So in this video, we're gonna cover four main things, which is what we did, why we did it, what actually happened, and then how we're going about adjusting. So this is actually a pretty standard 2-unit property in Hamilton, Ontario. Right now we're on the Hamilton Mountain. It's a good area. If you watch any of our previous videos, you know that we go for some pretty standard stuff when it comes to our flip projects, especially as they are bungalows. Try to keep at least 2 to 3 bedrooms on the main floor, 1 to 2 bedrooms in the basement. And one of the other things we talk about is trying to keep the design consistent throughout the entire place. I'm talking about color themes. That way you're not always having to design every aspect of the property. But here we did a little bit of experimenting, and as you can see on the main floor, we went with this really contemporary gold with white with blue color theme. And as you can see, it ties in together very nice. The minute you open the front door, you see this really big island that is very welcoming. Anybody coming in here will see this piece and think, wow, I can entertain guests here and I can have my friends sitting over there. If I'm in the kitchen, I'm not separated from the entertainment. And of course, we're tying everything in with the stainless everything. And on top of that, we're installing a wine fridge. We're just trying to give things that extra touch. So even as we look at the washroom, this golden white color theme actually looks very nice. You can tie things in with those gold accent faucets to the shower piece and to the vanity. And the rest of the property is actually pretty standard. We're just going with new doors, new windows, hot lights so that we don't have to tear down the ceiling. And as you can see, it still makes it look really contemporary, very modern compared to what it was. And the place looks great. And as we come to the basement here, we are keeping consistent with having that one attractive piece, which is as above, down here, the island, right? And the island here ties in with a black and white kitchen design. If you see some of our previous footage of this place, the place was a total disaster. It was random walls that didn't make sense, stuff everywhere. It had low ceilings that didn't make the place feel very welcoming. But now, as you can see, it's open, it's airy, the windows are new, and this island provides a nice common space eating area. Even though you have this pillar, it ties into the island, so it actually made sense to do. People can see themselves entertaining their friends here. And as we come to the washroom here, it is an easy walk-in, right? We actually like to build tile showers for basement units because you're not at risk of them leaking, whereas upstairs we do put a tub because, you know, if anything leaks here, it's not going to be the end of the world. If something leaks upstairs, it can drip down and cause problems. So if possible, shower stalls look great. However, they are not always ideal if you're building them in apartments because of the leaking aspect. Tubs are unlikely to leak. This basement space, before it was just maybe 1 bedroom, laundry space, and just storage. And now it's a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment with great space. The bedrooms are good size, they have their own windows, and they're bright with the pot lights, and you're not compromising height by installing these lowering lights.
Let's talk about why we picked this project. Number one, it was such a good deal. The seller of this property really needed to move ASAP, and he had to close the property within 30 days. One of the conditions that he mentioned is that he didn't want to bring any stuff with him. So he left all the furniture, unwanted items. He even left the car with us. And that's how we could negotiate a really good price at that moment. Second reason why we really like this property is because of the type of the property. It allowed us to convert it into 2 different units. It's a bungalow with a separate entrance leading into the basement. And this will provide us with a lot of flexibility when the market shifts.
Speaking of the market shifting, that's what happened. The original plan on this property was actually that we were going to sell it and probably profit somewhere in the realm of $100,000 to $150,000. And the reason why we thought that wasn't because we're greedy. We thought that because that is what our other projects were performing at. And this one was actually even better. And we thought we were being conservative. However, with everything that's happened recently, the rising interest rates, everything else that's happening around the world, and the increasing uncertainty that is just plaguing people's minds, I know it's making it such that people are not quite confident enough to buy. What we think is happening is that people want to wait to a point where at least the market stops fluctuating so that they can make a decision that is informed and planned. However, we're not in that state yet. And what does that mean for those of us who are flipping houses? It means that we have to wait. And waiting can mean renting it out, Airbnb-ing, or doing any kind of other things such as refinancing, something that just allows you to weather the storm. And Ping is going to talk to you about that right now.
There's one thing that we should always remember as a real estate investor is that rental market works differently from the real estate market. When the real estate market starts dropping, everybody stops buying, they will shift their focus into renting a place, which means rental market will be a lot more competitive. If we look at some stats, back in 2018, we're seeing the rent going for $1,800 for the main floor units, 3-bedroom newly renovated apartment units. For the basement, only looking at $1,200. So that total adds up to be about $3,000. In today's market, we're already seeing $2,400 per month for upstairs and then $1,800 to $2,000 plus hydro for the basement units. And that's a total of $4,300 per month plus utilities. Don't forget, we also have an option to run Airbnb for this property. The average for this type of units is going for $150 per unit per night. So if we use 150 times 2, that's $300 for the entire house times 75% of occupancy day, which is going to be about 20 days. That's going to give us a total of $6,000 per month. So as a real estate investor, it is very, very important for us to identify where the opportunities are and how we can actually pivot so that we can make profit out of it. Now you might be wondering, when are we actually going to be selling the flipping project for a profit? There are two things I want to share with you. Number one, there is still a huge imbalance in supply and demand in Canada. Currently, we have 1.5 million people on the immigration waitlist. The Canadian government has been announcing that they have planned to be accepting over 400,000 people every single year. That is the biggest problem with the Canadian real estate market. And the second thing that we want to keep in mind is that despite all the current correction in real estate market, we're still 60% above the pre-COVID real estate values. Purchasing properties for a lot of Canadian families is still very, very challenging. This is why it's really important to actually find the right product, because with all the immigration coming in, we know this type of housing will still be desirable.
A lot of people will talk about their flip projects in a healthy market. When things are good, they would have bought a property, renovated it, sold it, and then they would have made a bunch of money. And sometimes it's not really clear if people made the money because the market was just healthy and the market saved them, or they actually did it because they renovated things in a manner that actually propelled them forward. The thing that's different about savvy real estate investors and people who know how to flip properties in an intelligent way is that they also have a manner to hold steady when things get tough. Right now the market is down and you can't sell. If you sell, that is when you lose. If you want to know more about real estate investing, we are hosting monthly networking events for free in person right here in Hamilton, Ontario. So if you want to talk all things real estate, house flipping, landlording, you name it, join our Facebook group for our monthly events or shoot us a message and we'll be sure to connect.